Hello and welcome everyone to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I am here with another special guest, Antonio Salcedo Martínez. If I talk more about him, then he has built an impressive career working with IBM technologies with a deep connections to IBM RPG, and other IBM products. Apart from this, as an instructor, he has contributed a lot to the IT community, and for his contribution, he has been recognized as an IBM champion for multiple times. So, in this episode, we are going to talk about his professional journey. But before we start the discussion, I'd like to thank Antonio for joining us in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Thank you, Amit. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to be here with you today. And regarding your question, well, my name is Antonio Salcedo. I am from Spain. I am a BMI instructor and programmer. And I began my journey in this world of IBMI a long time ago while I was at the university. I was studying computer science. I think it was my second year, and I had a subject that was called Operating Systems 1. And they told us that we must make a practical part of the subject that was to code a keyboard driver in C in Unix operating system. And I said, oh, I don't know anything about Unix.
Hmm.
How can I code the driver if I don't know Unix?
Yes.
So I thought maybe I can take a course outside the university about Unix systems, so I can make the driver that they want to make. So I go to my local council because in this time offer a lot of courses, computer science courses too, and I look for a Unix course. I saw one that said AS400 analyst programmer. And I
Okay.
thought, maybe this is like Linux that have distribution. Unix maybe have distributions, and AS400 is one of them. Okay, so I sign for the course. I get the course, and the first time I open the personal communications, I saw the green screen, user password, nothing nothing that was different from Unix. But when I hit enter and main menu came to me, I thought, what is this? A menu in Unix? I
Yeah.
was expecting a console to type short commands like cp minus r minus I, and there was a menu. Well, this was not Unix, of course. It was AS400, and I took the entire course. I said, well, another thing to learn. I will stay in the course. In the middle of the course, more or less, I began to finish the exercises, the first one. So I have a lot of time until the next theoretical part, and I help other students
Okay.
to do the exercises. So my instructor saw me and told me, you are well teaching people." And I said, "What?" I was surprised. "What do you say? I am not doing nothing special. I'm
Yes.
just explaining them in the way that I like to being explained to me. So there's nothing special with them." But she said, "You are good teaching." So the time goes by, and I receive a phone call from an IBM foundation. They offer me a job to work as instructor. And I said, I haven't finished the course, and you are offering me a job. Yes, yes, we have talked with your instructor, and she said you are very good with this, and we are going to give you more training to begin to become an instructor of AS400. But I was in the middle of my degree, so I had to say no. With a lot of sorry, I had to say no. I finished the course. I had to reject another jobs during this time, more or less 6 months, receiving offers of jobs and saying no because there was full-time jobs, and I need a part-time job to study and to work. So one day my instructor phoned me again.
Okay.
Antonio, yes, um, someone from my company is going to phone you to offer you a full-time job about a COBOL programmer. Say
Wow.
no, because there is another job of a part-time job that is as instructor or of an AS400.
Okay.
And I said, oh, okay, okay. So some people from her company phoned me and told me about the COBOL job. I said, no, wow, it's a pity because it's a full-time job. I can take a full-time job. If it was a part-time job, oh, I have one. Yes, really? I don't know. Yes, it's an instructor. And I said, let's try. And
Okay.
this was the first time I was working as instructor, AS400 instructor. It was for people like me who never knows nothing, anything about AS400. The first day I was in my new job, I was in front of 30 people that doesn't know anything about AS400, and I have prepared the class, a lot of hours preparing the class, and I get there and say, "Hello, my name is Antonio Salcedo," and my mind get blanks.
Okay.
Whoa, I have 5 hours, and what will I say to these people? I don't know. But I began to talk, and all were pretty good. So this course was successful for all the people. Someone from IBM saw me and told to my company I want him to teach courses, but to clients, to IBM
Okay.
clients, not to unemployed people. And it was a half a part-time job. So I said yes. I finished my degree, and this is the beginning of my journey in this world of IBM.
Okay. So are you still in touch with those students like your first batch when you like contributed as a instructor, because your friend circle, because you were also doing the same course but at the same moment you are also helping other students. So
Yes.
are you in the touch with those students?
Yes, with some of them, I am in touch with them.
Okay. So they have
Not
witnessed
all
that.
of them,
Yeah.
but with some of them, I am in touch with them because there was a large course about 3 or 4 months of course, so it's a lot of time with them,
Okay. But
and I
you
get
are also taking classes right now, right? Currently you are also taking classes.
yes,
Okay. All right. That's great. Okay, so as you mentioned, like you have worked as a freelance instructor and a consultant as well. So, what motivated you to pursue freelancing in this particular domain of IBMI, and how has this experience been so far? Because, uh, like you are doing currently serving as a freelancer in this domain.
yes, I'm freelance. I'm currently a freelance. I have been freelance for the last 15 years, I think.
Okay,
And it was all because the company in which I was working as IT training manager one day told us, we are going to close the company.
okay,
Oh, what? You are going to close the company? I thought I was with an steady job, a job that I loved because I love to teach, I love to train people. And
yes,
suddenly I was looking for a job in another
hmm,
company. And I thought, why not look for my own job? Why not work for me? Not
okay,
in another company that depends that someone's make his job good and gives you the client to do to train your courses. Why don't you look for your own courses and your own clients? Let's
okay,
try. You are now without any job in any company, so let's try. So I try to be freelance. I have many contacts because I was a training manager, so I have many contacts in the training world, and I began. So the first moments were all good because there was a lot of job about AS400 training. That
okay,
was I was. And sometimes in my time of freelance, a time later, people doesn't want to train. So I
hmm,
get again, I was again without any kind of job, and I thought I need to prepare more ideas of IBM. So I
Hmm.
prepare Westfield Application Server, I prepare cybersecurity courses. So there were more courses to train.
Okay.
And I am programmer. Why don't you program for a company as a freelance too? And I
Yes.
began to program to companies. And this is what I'm doing now. I train courses and program to companies.
Okay. And Antonio, like we all know that IBM I has been around for decades and remains popular in certain sectors. So why do you think IBM continues to relevant in the modern IT landscape as well? Because now the things has been changed, AI has come into the picture, but still we all know that yes, IBM has its own place in the market. So what's your thought on this?
Yes, yes, because I think IBM is the best server in the market,
Yes.
more than host or set series. I think IBM is the best. Once you touch the IBM I, once you move into your menus or type the commands and you know the magic key F4 with the prompt of the
Yes.
commands, you don't have to remember every parameter of the commands. You don't have to remember nothing. It has help for any screen and any part of the screen. It is a very, very easy to learn and easy to use operating system. And of course, it has for me the best database in the market, that is DB2 for IBM I, because it's not the same as DB2 Linux Linux Windows. DB2
Hmm.
for IBM I think it's unique. It's integrated in the operating system, and so it is a very, very, very fast and reliable database. And I think one some company um, touch an IBM I and taste how is easy is and how powerful is, um, it is no way to go to another system. I think IBMI has a lot of people that are very loyal to him, and I think this is why it is still in the market, and it will be for a long years. IBM is updating the operating system, um, acquiring new technologies to and trying new technologies to IBM I. It does not.
Yes.
He has not forgot IBM I. It's updating constantly. So I
Yes.
think it is a good
Yeah, as an
investment.
IBMI developer, I am also completely agree with you that yes, it has its own capability. If we talk about the performance, security, so yes, there is
Yeah.
no competition for IBMI because the way it provides all the data with those DB to query in a fraction of seconds. So that is something that keeps it apart from other technologies.
Yes.
And if we talk about RPG, it is often seen as an old language. So, how has ILE RPG evolved, and what are some of the common misconceptions people have about the language and its ecosystem?
Yes, I think when people thinks in RPG, they're thinking about RPG 3, which it
Yes,
is uh, a node programming language, a column-oriented programming language, and they didn't realize that there is another version, RPG 4. RPG 4 has been eliminating or removing of the limitations of RPG 3, and now it is completely full free. You can code any word in any part of the line, beginning for the column number one. It
right.
has
Fixed
been
format.
updated, yeah, full free format. It has been updated with new operation codes, new building functions, procedures, XML, JSON, anything that is new in the market, it is incorporated to RPG. So I think RPG nowadays, it's a very, very robust programming language, and it is the jewel of the crown of IBM I in programming languages, of course.
Okay, all right. And let's talk bit about the developers, those who wanted to make their career in the RPG field, or maybe some of those are already working for the IBMI sector. So, what advice do you have for RPG developers who are transitioning to modern development practices, especially those moving into web and cloud-based environments?
Okay. I think, first of all, they need to be familiar with the concepts of web service and cloud.
Okay.
After that, they must begin to code without screen files because in
Okay.
web environment, there are no green screens.
Yes.
So they must be coding without the screen files. Uh, they must be coding ILE RPG, specifically service programs and
Programs.
procedures.
Mm-hmm.
So they can export these procedures as web services, and these web services can be called from anywhere. So
Okay.
I think the way they should go is about ILE RPG and service programs.
Okay. And if we talk about the editors, so is there any specific editor they can start with, like VS Code or RDI?
Yes, if they are going only to program without screen files, VS
Mm-hmm.
Code is perfect
Okay.
because VS Code does not have an screen editor that RDI has.
Yes.
RDI has an screen editor, so if you are going to design green screens, RDI is the best editor in the market because you can drag and drop components of the screen or a report
Mm-hmm.
visually. But VS Code does not has this tool. But if you are going to program only service programs and ILE, VS Code is perfect and
Okay.
it's free.
Yes, it's free with the extension. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And let's talk bit about IBM QRadar. So IBM QRadar is one of the leading SIEM solutions in the market. So what role do you see QRadar playing in strengthening cybersecurity, especially in complex environments?
Okay. Curator, I think nowadays is the best CM in the market.
Okay.
It is a tool that IBM has been updating a lot in the past few years,
Yes.
and now to me it's a must in cybersecurity. Curator has a lot of things that they don't have any other cybersecurity products. And but for me, the best thing has Curator is the context. It puts the context about everything about in our environment. Maybe in other companies have some software that has some cybersecurity part, another software does another part, and they receive one receives an event, the other one receives an event, and individually for them, maybe it can be a false positive. But
Okay.
curator receive both events, put them in context, and then can say, hey, no, this is an attack. Maybe you could see the software independent software can say, no, this is false positive because this software does not know nothing about this other event that is in another software. But Curator has all the events or all the network packets, and so put in context and can advise to the analyst there is an attack and you must go ahead and go what's happened. So I think Curator is now the best software in the market for cybersecurity.
Okay, all right. And with your experience in IBM Access Manager and IBM Identity Manager, how
Mhm.
important is identity and access management for enterprise today? And how are these tools addressing the growing concern around the identity security?
Okay, both of them are controlling access to resources.
Mm-hmm.
Access Manager, that is now called Verify Access because IBM changes the names of the products sometimes. Now it's called Verify Access.
Yes.
uh, Controls the access of to web resources. So it is very important to control who can access to what resource in your website, for
Okay.
example. And Access Manager is the one that helps to this task. An Identity Manager it works with identities, but provisioning resources for them. For example, one person is going to start a new role in the company,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to type their name, the email. We must say you can access the server and this server and this computer. Identity Manager helps to automate all of these things because
Yes.
we only say this is, for example, a new administrative role.
Mm-hmm.
So identity manager provision all of the resources needed to this role and assign them to these people. If this person changes the role in the future, you don't have to do anything because identity manager look to the directory server, look to the role that has now this other person and the provision, the resources it has, and provision new resources for them.
Okay.
So it automates, I think, tasks that if you have to do it manually, it is a very, very hard work.
Okay. And here I want to ask you one question for the freshers who just started their career with the IBM technology in the year of 2024. So, what piece of advice would you like to give, or what languages other than RPG would you like to suggest those developers which they can learn along with IBMI? Let's say if someone is working for a IBMI system as a developer, but he wants to learn more about other programming model languages as well. So, what do you think they should learn, and so that they can later incorporate those technologies with the IBMI system?
Well, another language that is not RPG,
Okay.
do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
I think COBOL, of course. There are a lot of companies that use COBOL, and
Okay.
I think there are no COBOL programmers
COBOL.
because IBM stopped teaching COBOL a long time ago. It
Mm-hmm.
focused only on RPG. If you go to the IBM training career in the website, you won't see any training about COBOL. RPG,
Right.
two courses. COBOL, zero. None, none.
Yes.
So I think sorry, I think COBOL is a very, very good language to learn, but I say Python.
Python.
Python, I think, is another good language to learn. You know, on IBM I, you can connect open source now.
Mm-hmm.
You can program in Python if you want, or you can program in Node.js if you want, or JavaScript because it's open to open source. But I think Python is a very, very good language to learn too.
Okay, so Python and COBOL is something that they can learn in their initial days along with the IBMI RPG language.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And let's talk bit about your experience as an instructor. So, as an instructor, what's your approach to teaching complex IBM systems like IBMI, RPG, or maybe WebSphere to students who may be new to this ecosystem?
Yes, I do a lot of this thing you are doing. You are saying. I teach a lot of courses to people that are new to the platform. There are courses that last 3 or 4 months, and I took some of the courses of the IBM training roadmap, and other courses are written by me because there are some subjects that are not in the IBM training, and I think they are important uh, to new people. If you know IBM maybe you can take a course of IBM 5 days,
Yes,
40 hours, and that's all. But if you are new to the platform, the timing is different. You must
yes.
go slowly, slowly, and as time goes by, you can go most fast or faster. But the timing is different. So I always take a new users of IBM course, IBM I for new users. It is a very, very good course. I started by this, some operation administration, and from now I go to CL programming,
CL programming.
databases, SQL, and RPG. I think maybe half of the course is RPG because they want to be analyst programmer in RPG. So they have enough knowledge of the platform with the first courses, and from the half of the course to the end, it's all RPG. RPG with the new technologies, JSON, XML, web services, and so on.
Okay, all
But 3 or 4 months,
3 or 4 months. Okay.
yes.
All right. So now I would like to talk bit about your personal life, like who has been your mentor and how they have played a pivotal role in your success.
Well, I think I didn't have a mentor in the first stage of my career because
Okay.
I do it all by myself. I started the course by mistake, but I started the
Yeah.
course. I choose not to take a job and to take another later. But I think there is one moment in my career in which I was only teaching courses, and some people um, wanted to go with him to his company. His name is Juan Manuel Miranda. It is a very good friend of mine now, and uh, Antonio, come with me. Antonio, come with me. I think for 2 years. Come with me, come with me. No, no, I'm very, I'm happy here, happy here. But when finally I say yes, I went to a very, very great company, and he helped me to integrate in another world I didn't know, because there
Okay.
were a lot of people, a lot of clients. I was very lost, and he helped me to. I arrived as an instructor and finished as IT training manager. So
Okay.
I think it is the more the mentor in my career.
All right. Okay. Although like we have very common topic that on which we can do the discussion, but just because of the limitation of time, I would like to ask my last question, which is related to your hobbies. So what specific hobbies or interests do you pursue outside your professional life that keeps you stay motivated and inspired?
Well, music. Music is very important in my life. Since I was a teen, I was studying with music in my ears
Okay.
and heavy metal music. I love to study with Iron Maiden or Metallica in my ears. I concentrate very well to study with music, and I can live without music. I play guitar, Spanish and electric guitar, because I love heavy metal music. So you focus on some of the members of the band, and I
Okay.
focus on guitarist because I like to play guitar. I like cinema too, but the most I like is to work in the country. I think in the
Okay.
countryside, I think being seeing the green of the trees or the grass, it's very
Mhm.
relaxing to me.
All right. Okay, so thank you so much, Antonio, for joining this podcast and for talking about IBMI system and for sharing your knowledge with us. I hope you also enjoyed the session, and thank you once again.
Thank you to you.